Mark,
Hey, Paul.
what are you reading? I actually can ask that this time because we have more than one option.
Yeah, I was looking at this Absolute Flash, wondering if the crop top's going to be necessary moving forward, if it'll be temporary.
You never know. We have not one, we have two absolute issues to talk about this time, and we will do that right after this. Before we go any further, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you're alerted whenever we upload new content. Hit the like button too. It's a little thumbs up right down there below it. You can't miss it. It's a little thumbs up. And don't forget to leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing and how you're liking DC in general these days. I'm loving DC in general. It's
They're doing big things across the board.
they are. And it seems like even more big things are being announced like every month, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, we've got not one, but we've got two absolute comics to talk about today. We have the end of the first storyline in Absolute Batman, number 6. And then we have the debut issue of Absolute Flash, Jeff Lemire and Nick Robles.
Yeah, phase 2 has officially began for the
Exactly.
Absolute DC Comics.
Exactly. But before we get to phase 2, let's finish up the first story arc in Absolute Batman. If you recall, at the end of the last issue, um,
Black Mask dumped a lot of weapons all over the city, along with the masks, and goading people into violence with the sum of large money.
yeah, it was like the Purge. If you're getting paid to be in the Purge,
Yeah,
um, it was.
Gordon and Martha were on the streets of Gotham in the middle of all
Mhm.
this about to set off. Batman just had his butt kicked by Black Mask Gang and barely escaped with his life to the sewers, and it was looking pretty dire for Gotham.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Batman was not doing well. He actually shows up at the gym that Wayland Killer Croc owns, and basically outs himself.
Yeah, he has to
Tells Killer Croc.
reveal his identity to Croc. He thinks he's absolutely crazy for this. Wakes up from a weird little nightmare, and the city is in shambles, going crazy fast.
Yeah, but that's just page 1. Then we jump back to the zoo, which is the name of the overall story arc for the first story arc in Absolute Batman. The zoo double page spread of the zoo. Um, so we get that. We see basically just a quick, what looks like a quick picture. But then we basically go back and we see that all of these people that Bruce knows, Selena and Edward and Ozzy and Wayland, he's known them since they were children, and they
Yeah,
were actually there at the zoo at the same time. Um, so we see Martha is basically having like a sleepover or whatever for all of Bruce and his friends, but it's interspersed between what's going on there and what's happening at that critical moment in the zoo.
yeah. We get a little flashback, and then we cut to the streets of Gotham.
Yes, where we find James Gordon and Martha are basically looking. Martha picks up one of the masks and sees exactly how much Black Mask is offering people to rob, to arson, to steal, to murder, to assault, and basically, murder is you can get $250,000 if you murder somebody.
And she also finds out that because Gordon is the mayor, he's a high priority target with $1 million bounty on his head.
Yes. Yep.
So these seemingly good people, just regular people, are are feeling really encouraged to do some bad stuff right now.
Right. Um, but she basically tells Jim that he's a target, and that he tells her, go home, be safe, or whatever. And she's like, I'm the deputy mayor. I'm not going anywhere. She's a Wayne. She's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, that,
Then we
that,
cut to Alfred's kid on the
yeah,
subway,
yeah.
just
Who-
traveling, getting the emergency alert on her
right.
phone, seeing the party animals entering the subway. She looks like she's about to get attacked, and then the party animal gets taken out from behind.
Right. Um, So he switched then to Batman, who was actually up in a plane, was being flown by Oswald Cobblepot, um, who basically now he knows that he's Batman as well. And he's basically going through the list of everybody. He's like Wayland was pissed. I'm pissed. Edward said he was known for a while, and Selina will probably think it's hot.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny. The different personalities reacting to the news. And it's cool. So Oz is flying him out over the water to where they suspect the Black Mask is held up. They got to shut down these masks. It has to have a central server located near the city to really be pulling this off. They assume it's going to be on his yacht out in the water. So they fly over it, and Batman jumps out to go land on it. And we get this great one-page splash there with the lightning bolt, the blue sky.
Correct. Which I am predicting right now will be the cover of one of the upcoming printings.
Yeah, it's got to be, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. But he doesn't parachute down. He just torpedoes down and lands on one of the Black Mask goons that was sitting there DJing, and then notices all the life jackets. So he grabs a bunch of life jackets, starts beating people up, putting a life jacket on them, and throwing them beat up off the side of the boat. So much so that he even found that I don't know if it's a little person, a kid, or what. Might just be a midget, but puts a life jacket on said midget and punts it off the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just punts it.
Right.
And then the last person just bails, just jumps, and even throws a life jacket to her. So he's not out to kill anybody, but he's definitely out to cause some harm.
Yeah. He doesn't want to kill him. He just wants to play football with him.
You got to know that I was here.
Exactly. Flashback to back just after or sometime after the shooting at the zoo, and Martha and Bruce are looking at pictures. She takes a picture of that we saw in that double page spread that had the title of the issue on it, and basically Martha is saying this is the one that I love the most.
Mm-hmm. We just jump right back to the city. We get another page with Gordon and Martha faced looking down the barrel of firearms that the citizens that are taking on this party animal persona have, and the debate continues. Like, run, try to survive, put your guns down. It's just building tension of if they're going to survive this issue or not. Then it immediately cuts. We do a lot of jumping around. Then it immediately cuts back to Alfred's daughter, who's now on a private jet. Alfred explaining the situation, telling her that she needs to leave, and her saying, if you bail on me right now and leave me in this jet, like, we're done. And he's like, oh, wheels up, Captain. And we jump again back to Batman on the yacht.
Yeah, who has found some bowling balls and is using some bowling balls to basically take care of some of Black Mask's gang.
He's beating Black Mask himself with him at this point. Black Mask attacks him. He puts him through a wall and just starts pounding on his head with bowling balls. Like, it's crazy. Just he's like savage.
Yeah, and he basically is taunting him, saying, tell me again how much I don't matter. And he's like, I love it. And every time he says I love it, he seems to get more and more brutal with Black Mask.
All the while he pulls out what I'm assuming is a jump rope, since they're like in the little workout area, wraps around Batman's neck and starts choking him out. Like, he's pulling so tight, so much so it's bleeding at the neck. He's flashing back to his mom, going panel for panel in here as the life's being choked out of him. And she's talking about why she loved that picture so much. And then it clicks with Batman. You see the ears. This was awesome. Like, you see mechanics in the ears where they connect to his mask, rotate the ears forward, and he just headbutts Black Mask with the ears pointing forward.
Right. Goes right through the mask.
That was wicked. I was not.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny because, as you said, it goes back to that thing that Scott Snyder's been doing, where it goes like panel versus panel, before now, and he has what is in many ways the most brutal part of this story with the ears, coinciding with the most gentle and most hopeful part of the story as well, because she tells Bruce that the reason why she loves that panel is because of the children, and it reminds her of the hope there is in this world, and that was basically what his father was all about, was hope. And so we see it's always what he was most hopeful about you, and then the very next panel is Bruce is the years
Boom.
going through the. So it's just kind of nice juxtaposition. So
Yeah. Now with Black Mask blind and beat up, he gets his own life jacket and thrown overboard. And now Batman goes down below to look for the servers, finds them, grabs some grenades, throws them into the server room, all while Martha and Jim Gordon are still, gun to gun against these people. Put the guns down, no, blah, blah, blah. Boom, bomb goes off, masks go out, and they realize, okay, this ain't worth it. We're clearly not going to get paid. So Martha walks up and punches one of them square in the face.
Right.
Moment there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The issue, like giving us this a page here, a page there, just it builds up and it gave a good sense of time with like Batman needs to get moving.
Right, exactly. Batman is thrown from the boat, obviously, but he is picked up by Alfred, who basically says, not today. Basically, if I'm sticking around, so are you. So we get the first hint that Alfred is, going to be inexplicably tied to Bruce again, and we see him basically, sewing up Bruce, and we get all the credits and everything, which we normally get. If we don't get it at the beginning, we normally get it on the last page of a story, but in almost kind of like an after credits type thing, we see one more page, and we see basically the Joker again, who is being told that things did not really go the way they're supposed to go in Gotham City, and he's like, "I'm aware, it's time, get Bane."
And we see that the first time we see the Joker with white skin, green hair. He has some kind of disgusting bio something on top of him with a baby face on it. You see stuff coursing through his veins, turning his skin from white to regular flesh tone.
Right.
This is the weirdest, creepiest stuff I've seen in any absolute anything to date.
Yeah, it's almost like he's taking baby blood to make himself, have the correct color skin.
He's going for the adrenochrome? Oh
no. But yeah, it says, to be continued, and we get a nice teaser page on the next page of we're going to see absolute.
Did you notice with his legs they're just bones? Like you can even see between the bones and stuff. It's like there's no flesh on those.
Yeah. But we're going to get Absolute Freeze, Absolute Mr. Freeze in the next 2 issues, and then we're looking forward to Bane and his
issue 9,
his upcoming and his upcoming battle against the Joker as well. So, but this kind of indicates that also the Joker may be pulling the strings of everyone, because he basically almost is confirmed on the last page that he was basically running the Black Mask thing as well. So, but even all that, to me, wasn't the best part of the Absolute Universe this past week. It was Absolute Flash, issue number 1, phase 2 to begin this week with Absolute Flash, next week Absolute Martian Manhunter, the week after Absolute Green Lantern. So we got all those coming along the way. And much like we do in the other stories, there's a lot of flashback and flash forwards.
There really is.
In every single title. It's all flash forward and flashback and flash forward and flashback. So
it's their way of not doing an origin.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll get the story going while we explain.
Yeah. He'll just think of his origin while he's doing the present stuff. So
yeah, this one kicks off with the preview pages that we've seen for the past month in the back of the DC titles you pick up. You pretty much get Wally coming to a stop out in the middle of nowhere in what looks like a desert, lightning still striking him, thinking to himself, "What have I done?" Saying it over and over again, confused and not knowing what's going on, while he looks at himself, and it looks like he expressing some energy.
Yes.
And it's as soon as he does that, it gets a little bit weird, because the very next page, when he opens his eyes, he's 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I don't know if this is linear storytelling or what we're doing right here yet. It's to be determined on that.
Yeah, and this first story arc is called Of Two Worlds, kind of a nod to the Flash of Two Worlds from Flash 123.
I read that and thought to myself, you're really burning this title early, and what could this potentially mean for the story also?
You never know.
I definitely don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I won't ever know. I just don't know yet.
That's right. Exactly. So we go back to 2 days ago. We find Wally is basically walking back to he's walking through the city along the tracks. He's walking back to an army base where we find out that his father is, and we find out that he's basically been, he shouldn't have been out.
That's
But
curfew.
exactly, he's past curfew. He's stopped by the guards. Before they can do anything, Barry steps in. We see Barry Allen for the first time, and Barry steps in, and who also happens to be working at this base, and says, "Let me take care of the kid. I'll get him where he's supposed to be. Don't worry about it." And
Yeah, he
then,
clearly knows. He can clearly tell that Barry has, or Wally has, a strained relationship with his father and doesn't like being at this base and being out. He wasn't with friends or anything. Everyone kind of knows this kid's sad and has nobody here, and they recognize that despite his father's here, he still has no one here. Everyone seems to be handling him with like a soft touch because of the situation of him having to be stuck at this base. And Barry's offering that extended hand of friendship to him and asks him, "You want to see something cool?"
right, and even though it doesn't say he doesn't say it right at the beginning, or we don't get the confirmation right at the beginning. He does say it a little later, and he does talk about a person who was kind of like a friend to him, coming up to be, but isn't around anymore. Happens to be his mother. But yeah, Barry says, do you want to see something really cool? And so he brings him down into this basement, kind of his lab, because Barry Allen has to have a lab, of course.
Barry's and Wally's telling him, like, "Yo, my dad's not going to be cool with this." He's like, "It'll be fine. I'll talk to him later. You know what we do down here is like just research stuff, right?" And you're like, "How much does your dad tell you?" Not really anything. We don't really talk." Then he shows him the lab, and his immediate response is, "Whoa," which makes me wonder. I wonder if Wally's going to have like a kind of a science touch in this, but that's always Barry's thing. It's definitely
Yeah.
not Wally's. Maybe,
Yep.
maybe he will, maybe he won't. But we see this lab is full of gorillas that they're testing on and everything, called Project Olympus.
Yeah, Olympus. And yeah, we see this, and actually we'll see another like really kind of weird chimpanzee a little bit later near the end of the story. But yeah, we see. I wonder if this is how Gorilla Grodd is going to be.
Yeah, we've
Um,
already been confirmed that he's like the little gorilla on his shoulder, and some of the
yeah,
images later that's been shared out. But they seem to be talking and bonding, not really saying too much, revealing about the project or anything. And that's when Dr. Allen comes in and just jumps down everyone's throat. "Wally, what are you doing here? Barry, what's wrong with you for bringing him down here? You shouldn't have been out. You must have been out with your friends." And Wally's like, "Well, yeah, what friends, dude? Like, what are you talking about? I'm pretty much a prisoner on this base, stuck here." And Barry's trying to sweet talk him, like, "I just thought it'd be nice to." He's like, "It's Colonel West, and you know damn well civilians are not permanent down here, Allen. Take it easy, doctor. No way. Go home, kid. I'll deal with you later." Blah blah blah. Just his dad's pretty mad.
yeah. But then we flash to now. After he sends him Wally away, we flash to now where he's in the
Back
desert.
in the desert.
Yeah. And he sees this the ship kind of fly over him, and it ejects something that mysteriously looks kind of like a boomerang.
Yeah, just like one.
Yeah.
And it's a boomer drone.
Hmm.
It goes flying. While he sees it, he goes running into a cave. It follows him into a cave, and then the ship comes to a stop, and out comes what we recognize even in this absolute world as some of the Flash's rogues gallery. We get Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang, the Golden Glider, and the Trickster, I'm assuming, maybe.
Yeah, that's the trickster with the like pumpkin-like head almost.
Pumpkinhead. But out comes the rogues, and we don't know who sent them or why, but they're clearly after Wally.
Right.
And they're going to split up and go in.
Right.
Meanwhile,
So he's running through the cave, but then we go back another day.
well, real quick, I want to touch on this running through the cave thing because I think this is really telling, maybe a clue for us. Like when the Flash runs, like he has lightning and all that stuff. We were told through the solicitations and everything that Absolute Flash is not going to be a speedster,
Right.
be a use of the Speed Force.
Right.
They're going to have a different concept to give him his speed. And you notice as he starts running, we get these little lines. I don't know if those are going to be like standard motion lines, but we see them in this next panel with kind of like the after images next to him and stuff, and he starts to overcharge again. So I'm wondering if that's going to give us if that's him accessing the whatever speed capability he has in this world. If it's if it's not necessarily like, the lightning, the speed force, if it's like sliders or something, like it's definitely different. Something's happening here.
Yeah, and then you go from the bottom of that page to the top of the next page where it's one day ago, and it almost seems as though like he's experiencing all of these things almost at the same time.
Yeah, because you see him do that stuff, tear in his eye, the about to express all that energy buildup, and then bloop.
Right, and then he has the thing of basic like bewilderment. The question mark with the exclamation point.
And his dad walks in and he dad, like it's a question. He didn't say, "Oh, hey, dad."
Right. He talks about he's trying to mend things with Wally after what happened the day before, and basically when Wally ends up bringing up Barry again, that's something that just triggers him and says basically you're never to talk to Barry ever again, which is code for I'm about to talk to the person you tell me never to talk to.
Well, you think you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he tries to explain to Wally the work we're doing here is very important. It's very dangerous. That's why I need you to stay away from it. And I have to be here to do this work. Just don't talk to Barry no more. If Mom were alive, we'd both have left you a long time ago. And he goes storming out of the house just to see his reflection in the water where it's raining. And in the reflection, he sees, I assume, what is himself looking back, yelling. He sees a little reflection there.
Right.
And like you have like a little image of him yelling with the little lines and stuff again. Like this is pretty cool trying to figure this out. It's kind of fun because like that knowing who the Flash is, but not knowing anything about this Flash is fun getting to relearn the character for the first time.
Yeah, if there's if there's no, you said no Speed Force, no Barry, maybe there's no treadmill. He doesn't need a treadmill to move through time. So yeah. He ends up going back down to the lab that he was not supposed to go to, and we see again another chimpanzee, but this one looks a little bit different than the last time we saw one.
Look at the big brain on that one.
Yeah, kind of
popping out the head.
It's kind of look like he's got a little Starro for a head for the top there, and then he's got a brain coming out of the Starro. Almost.
It does. I'm going to assume that this is Grodd.
Yeah,
because it looks like. I mean, there's a lot of monkey specimens in this lab. But this one that they focus on looks like the one that we've seen from the pictures that have been shared already. So I'm thinking this might be his little monkey companion who ends up to be Grodd.
So Barry is, going through. He calls out Barry's name. He ends up seeing Barry in a bubble, basically in almost kind of what looks like the old Legion time bubbles, but it's just a glass bubble. And he's screaming at Wally to get away.
And he's wearing the Flash suit. Barry's in there with it on.
Right.
The terrible crop top. Yeah, he walks in the middle of an experiment. And Barry's suited up in the bubble, is screaming at Wally to go, run, and turn the page. And we time jump back to the desert. Wally running through the caves, being chased by Captain Cold and Boomerang, who's throwing out other boomerangs and stuff, trying to find him, flush him out, track him down. They're looking close for him. All the while, Barry's running. He's not coming down, and we're getting flashes of what looks like you're in. I can only use the term Speed Force. That's all I know. But it's like flashing to him, running, stressing. Then you'll see like him panicking in the Speed Force, running, stressing, flashing back to seeing Barry in this contraption, like with it look like it's overloading, flashing, and then you turn the page and you see Wally there saying Barry and Barry's corpse right there. So you go from like the wrong way, the high stress running from the rogues, and then next thing you know, like him having like what looks like almost a panic attack and looking at Barry's corpse in this cave.
Yeah.
Wearing the stupid costume.
Exactly. Then we get another huge flash forward to a year later. And we see basically in the what looks like I'm going to assume is the debris of the lab. And basically there's a mirror on the ground, and coming out of the mirror is suddenly this hand. And we then see someone that has access to a Project Olympus archives requested. And we basically get a final scene yeah, we see on some of the screens, some of the items that have happened or possibly maybe will happen. Who knows? And we see basically who we need come to find out is Mirror Master, um, saying that it's time to make the whole world fall.
Yeah.
So we got to exactly. So huge
see
story.
A lot of green gorillas in the wreckage. We see 2 other people looking at what could be a potential experiment with the whole energy bubble again. Wally sitting there doing the whole what's that Da Vinci painting? The fingertips.
Oh, I don't know.
Sistine Chapel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, them doing with the little monkey, doing the fingertip touching.
E.T.
Yeah,
E.T.
Yeah, you got Wally putting on the flash suit, literally sitting there with the skin tight suit on, the form fitting suit, holding the crop top and looking at it, thinking the same thing we are thinking. Do I have to wear this part? And then what looks like a giant lava monster. There's a lot to be excited about. I like how much information they gave us and how much they kept a mystery for us to solve. I enjoy figuring out as we go. I enjoy looking forward to the next issue, wanting to put pieces together. This one felt very comparable to the way that the Superman story played out for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like the show Silo and things like that, because you get a little bit more of the overall mystery as everything goes along. Some things are explained as you go along that have been a mystery before, but there is more to the mystery as well. We have, unlike the other stories, we already have at least 5 members of his rogues gallery have already been introduced. Whereas, although actually, you know what, Scott Snyder has introduced all the other ones. They're just not his rogues gallery yet in Batman. So, but
Superman, they're just getting started.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, another great issue. This one apparently sold more than 120,000 issues.
180, wasn't it?
180. Okay.
I think Martian Manhunter's 120, but I believe that the Flash they reported that over 180,000 copies sold.
Nice. So the winning continues. I'm sure we'll see a second printing of this one as well. But yeah, so far they're clicking on all cylinders, so much so that Rob Liefeld wants Marvel to hire Scott Snyder.
So. That post made a lot of people mad. Yeah. On multiple platforms that I put it on.
Yeah. Well, they get over it. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. But again, can't wait to get to the next issue. Next week is going to be it's going to be Absolute Wonder Woman. Not Hayden Sherman. It'll have a different artist for a couple issues. Kind of like Absolute Batman will do as well. It'll have a different for the Absolute Mr. Freeze issues, and we'll have the first kind of like the one that I'm most intrigued about. The Absolute Martian Manhunter, because it seems as though it's definitely going to be like a head trip.
Yeah, biggest departure from the norm with that one, at least on face value. We'll see, because Green Lantern promises to be trippy as well. I don't think it's caught as much of the same. The previews haven't exposed how trippy it will or won't be compared to Martian Manhunter.
Right, exactly.
I think we have to get. I think it's the Martian Manhunter. I think there's a variant that comes with a hit of acid.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you just take it, then read it.
Okay.
Yeah, be on the lookout.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Probably comes from like Third Eye or something like that. Because that's what you would see on someone probably after that is the third eye.
It makes sense because that's all Martian Manhunter has. They're like, we don't need the other one. Just keep the third one.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's not a dig at Third Eye at all. Love Third Eye comics. If you're watching, love you. But yeah, that's going to be it. Looking forward to where we go from here. Hopefully now we'll have an Absolute issue now every single week with everything that's going on. But that's going to be it. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, let us know how you're doing. But as of now, I am Paul. He is Mark.
We're Legion.
And you're now leaving Sector 20.